Good morning, dear students. Today, again, let me welcome you to this next class. As you know, we have been discussing about parts of speech. And after discussing several parts of speech, we started to discuss about verb, and in continuation to this subject verb, we have discussed many things. We have discussed what exactly the verbs are. We also discussed what different names of those verbs at different times, different situations that we discussed. We also discussed the forms of verbs, and we understood why the forms of a verb change. We understood that the forms of a verb change for two causes. One is for time change and another is for action change. Those verbs changing their forms in our sentence with the changes in time, they are called finite verbs. Those verbs changing their forms in our speech or sentence with the changes in action, they are called non-finite verbs. That we discussed. We also discussed about finite verb, their transitive and intransitive nature. And besides that, we also discussed many things like what is tense, aspects and times. And we understood we use two tenses for three times. Graphically, I have already told you in the previous class. And today, we will, as I promised you, we will discuss a little more about tense and aspects. Not going into the depth of them, we will simply understand how functionally we can use various tenses and aspects in our day-to-day interactions, communications and conversations fluently with confidence. Okay, so here today's chapter we are going to discuss is functional use of tense and aspects. You can say tenses. Functional use of tenses, because we have more than one tense. Therefore, I am telling you tenses, and we have lot of aspects for every tense, and what different forms of verb used for different tenses also we did discuss. Today, let me again have a brief idea, brief recall of our past discussion that we discussed last class. Here you see, we discussed what we use for present tense. Present tense uses verb 1. Present tense uses verb 1 and am, is, are plus ing. These two, verb 1, here is eat and eats. We use this eat and eats in accordance to their persons in numbers. For singular subjects, we use eats. For plural subjects, we use eat, including I, the first person singular, we, the first person plural. Okay, so similarly, we use am, is, are plus ing to talk about present time in a certain situation. The rule we will discuss right now. Similarly, for talking about past time, we use verb 2. That means the example we have taken here is ate. And another thing is was, were plus eating. These two are called past tense and these two are called present tense. So we discussed that last class. Similarly, we also discussed something when we have the past and present link, we use some other aspects of verb. Okay, so we use when there is a link between past and present, we use have as plus verb, third verb. and have has been plus ing form. When we want to talk about the situations between the link between past and earlier past, that means as I have told you, yesterday is past and day before yesterday or before 3 days back, we can say it is earlier past. When we talk about the link between past and earlier past, we use had plus verb third form and had been plus ing form. We also discussed about future time that let us today discuss up to this much, then we will discuss about future, what tenses and aspects we are using for future we will discuss in a subsequent class. But let's today discuss about past present link and past and earlier past link. Okay, for that let me tell you something. Let us start from the present time using present tense. Okay, you see, as I have told you, we are now just understanding the functional use of tense. We are not going into the depth to know more and more rules about them, but we will understand the basic rules using which we can be very good fluent in talking English with confidence. That I am telling you. You see, when we are talking about present tense, as I have already told you, present tense has two things only. One is past form, that means the simple present aspect, and be plus verb ing form, that is am is are plus ing form. For simplest use, what we say, the rule over here to talk about the regular or habitual actions in present. When we talk about the regular or habitual actions in present, we use verb past form. How can we know it is regular? When we talk about always, every day, every week, every month. Okay. Similarly, when we can use generally, usually, mostly, these are some words, those who are the time phrases, they are talking about regular actions in present. Therefore, if our sentences starting with these words, then we must understand it is a regular action in present. For example, every day I go to my school. Every day I don't watch TV. Always my friend comes to my house to play with me. Okay, so usually my father drinks tea in the morning. Generally, he reads newspaper in the afternoon. Mostly, my friends like to play cricket. Okay, we used the different forms like eat and eats, go and goes, reads and reads in accordance to the person. But basic rule is that when we talk about regular or habitual actions in present, we use verb past form. Similarly, when we talk about the temporary situations in present. When we are talking about a temporary situation, not regular. For example, suppose we will say now, today, this week, this month, this year, now, 8 days, these days. These words are talking about the temporary situation. For example, I am telling you, every day my mother goes to temple. Today, she is cooking in my house. Every day I talk in English. But this week I am talking in Hindi as well. Okay, understand? So when we are talking that something is temporary situations are in present or something is happening now at present of time, then we use be verb plus ing. That means M is a ing to talk about the temporary situations in present. We use first form, present simple aspect to talk about the regular or habitual actions in present. Okay? See, after we understood the present tense and its uses with the simplest functional rules, now let's understand about the past tense. As we discussed in the present, the same thing is again for past tense. We also use verb to and was verb plus ing for past tense. So these two aspects are used for two different situations. You see, we have taken an example. At is the verb to of the verb we have taken as the example eat and eats. At is the second form and was verb plus eating is the ing form. So here you see, when we use the second form, when we use verb second form to say that something happened in the past. Something happened in the past. Yesterday I bought a new dress. Last week my friend returned from London. Yesterday my brother brought a new cycle. Okay? So we are talking something happened in the past. We can also use regular actions in the past. When we talk about the regular action, when suppose I am telling you, when I was a UP school student, every day I played cricket with my friends in our school playground. Okay, so when I was a UP school student, it was not one day, regularly for several years I continued to play. So for talking about regular actions in the past also, we can use verb second form. For talking about regular action in the past, we have some other things as well. You know them very well. Just like we used to, could plus verb first form. There are many things to talk about regular actions in the past. But here we are using verb second form to talk about regular actions in the past as well as something happened in the past. Similarly, we use was and were plus ing to talk about some temporary situations in the past. Temporary situation which was not regular. For example, I am telling you, yesterday I went to my friend's house. I went. Something happened. I saw my friend was writing homework. Last week I went to Nandankanan. We saw many animals were moving in the forest. Okay? So, last week I went to my uncle's house. That time my auntie was suffering from fever. It was temporary. Understand? So, when we talk about regular action in the past or something happened in the past, we use verb second form, and when we are talking about the temporary situations in the past, we use was verb plus ing form. This is what the functional grammar we should remember to use with confidence. Okay? Let's understand the others. While discussing about the aspects of verbs and tenses, we did discuss, we understood that when we are talking about the link between the past and present, we use these aspects. What are they? Have has plus verb third form. That means have has eaten, have has written, have has played, have has come, have has slept, have has jumped, have has won, has defeated. Okay, so have has cleaned, have has swept, have has we washed, defrosted. There are many such verbs we can use there. Verb 3, that means past participle verb here, and also we are using have has been plus verb ing verb. These two aspects we are using to talk about the link between the past and present times. Okay, first let's understand the have has plus verb third verb. Now let's understand about the link between the past and present time. As we know, for to talk about the link between past and present time, we use two aspects: have has plus verb third form, have has been plus ing form. Let's discuss first the have has plus verb third form. The example: have has eaten, I have eaten, I have written, my friend has eaten, my friend has written. When it is singular, we use has. When it is plural, I, we and other plural persons or subjects, we use have, that you know. But when we use them, when in what situation we need to use this have has plus verb third form, let's discuss from this route. We use have has plus verb third form to talk about past action and present effect. Past action and present effect means something already completed before a certain time in present. An action is already completed before a certain time in present. You see, I have written over here. You see, here I have written this is a timeline. So this much is past time, this much is present time, this much is future time. And now we are here. We are in present. Now we are here. And before now, something, an action already completed. That means it has the present effect. It has the present effect. Past action is past, but it has its effect in the present. In that case, we use have as plus verb third form. And those sentences we use for have as plus verb third form, they must come with just, already and yet. We must use these words in our sentences. For example, I have just taken my lunch. My friend has already completed his homework. I have not written my homework yet. That means, you see, just and already we use for positive sentences, whereas we use yet for negative sentences. Okay, let's have a grammatical construction for that so that you can better understand. Okay, let me write something so that you can understand. Here you see, I have written some situations where we can use. Example are given at 7 a.m. today. Your father told you to do the following works. At 8:30, at 7 a.m. your father went outside, and before going he told you, okay, you do these following works today within some time. Okay, he told you first work, wash your clothes. Then he told you buy vegetables from the market. Again he told you write a letter to your younger brother. At 10:30, when you saw your watch, you saw the catalog, the list your father gave you to do them. You found clothes not washed, vegetables bought, and letter written. That means this tick you have done, this into you did not, you have not done. Now, so what you will tell? I have not washed my clothes yet, because it is negative, so we are using yet. But these two are positive. What you have done? You can say, I have already bought vegetables. from the market. I have already bought. We have used already because our sentence is positive. For negative, we use yet at the end of the sentence to talk about negative. Similarly, you can say, I have already written a letter to my younger brother. So, two works you have completed, one work you have not completed. For that you have told have plus third form. Have plus third form. But though it is negative, we used yet. Though it is positive, we used already, or just also we can use. This is how we are talking about the link between the present and past time. Let's talk about the other aspect for using present and past time. Here you see, now we are discussing the next aspect. That means another aspect for talking about the link between past and present time. That means we discussed have has plus verb third form. Now we are discussing have has been plus verb ing form. Here we have used, example is given, have has been eating, have has been sleeping, have has been reading, have has been teaching, have has been playing, have has been watching, have has been working. There are many such verbs we can use when we want to talk about the action of a certain verb. You see, here, why we use this? We use this to say, that means to talk that something is continuously in progress. That something is continuously in progress. That means an action is in progress. It has started in the past and till now it is continuing and may continue up to the future. Okay, so but the action started. You see, I have written over here the timing. See, here is the present time, this part, present time, this is past time, this is future time. As per the diagram, the work started here. Work started in the past and it is continuing. It is continuing till now. We are now over here. Started past, continuing till now means into the present. It may so happen that it might continue in the future. But we don't know about future. We have no confidence about future. But we can talk from the beginning till now about that something is in progress. That means when we are talking about this can be a period of time and this is the starting point of time. We can talk about either. We can talk about the period of time or the duration. We can talk about the starting point of time. For example, my father has been reading newspaper for 20 years. 20 years is a period of time. Therefore, it is talking about a duration. Therefore, we have used for to talk about the period of time or the duration. Similarly, we can say, my father has been reading newspaper since 1995. My teacher has been teaching English for 10 years. My teacher has been teaching English since 2000. Okay, so when we are talking about the starting point, we use since. When we are talking about the duration or the period of time, we use for. Okay, so this aspect of this verbs we are using to talk about that something is continuously in progress. That means the action started in the past and till it is continuing and it may continue in the future. Okay, so today we discussed the use of various aspects of and tenses. we understood about how we use and the rules for using present tense. Similarly, we understood about the past tense. Now we are understanding about the present and past link. Okay, so this is what that uses of different tenses and aspects for different times. Okay, but today in the next class we will discuss other aspects for past as well as for future time. Okay, till then, this much. Next class, more things about them. We will discuss about past, earlier past link, and about future time. And for today, only this much. Thank you. For any doubts, if you can collect my phone number and you can ask me any question. I will clear all your doubts, provided evening time I am free. Thank you. See you.